Good evening. Man, it feels good to do this again. Welcome to Newport High School for the commencement exercise for the class of 2022. My name is Brett Mackey, and I'm the Assistant Principal Athletic Director, and I will be conducting tonight's ceremony. But before we begin, some of life's moments deserve the utmost attention, so we'd really appreciate it if you could ensure that all your cell phones are set to silence. Also, to ensure that all the parents and guests are able to see their graduate receive their diploma. We ask that the front and center aisle remain clear. We do have a professional photographer and media needing that space. If you wish to take any individual pictures, please do it on the sides. All right, at this time, would you please rise, remove your caps, and join us in the singing of the national anthem by our very own Newport High School Choir, led by Jay Curtis.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Class, you may be seated. If you don't have a program, this section of the ceremony will include introductions from Dr. Smith, followed by a few words from our high school principal, Jamie Poncho. So, let's get this thing going. First of all, I'd like to introduce to you Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Dave Smith.
Thanks, Brett. Is this a great group of graduates right here? Good-looking crew. And they are glad to be here tonight. And we are so thankful that you are all here with us tonight. This is truly a wonderful, wonderful event. It's a great night. I have the honor of introducing some people that helped get these graduates to where they are today. First of all, I'd like to introduce our board of directors, April Owen. Director Angie Hill, Director Rick Hughes, and Director Larry Sauer. He'll take a second to get up. There he is. And the next group that spent a lot of time with your son and daughters, if you're a Newport School District employee, please stand. All of our Newport School District employees, please stand. All of you. As I spoke to our staff the other day, I said, yes, I know our graduates they graduate from Newport High School, but it takes a village to get these kids to where they are today. So to each and every one of my staff members, thank you so much for what you do. And I know you have nothing but love for these graduates. And next, the ones that are very close, can I have my parents and guardians of these students please stand up and give these individuals a round of applause. Guardians and parents, I know you're proud. And finally, before I turn it over to Mr. Poncho, a group that I always love to recognize, my favorite thing. If you're a grandparent tonight, could you please stand? Let's recognize our grandparents, please. There you go. Awesome. Again, thank you for being here, and graduates, I hope you feel the love in this room. I really hope you do. In fact, I know there's love in this room. I heard somebody say, "I love you, Lily Newman," when we were walking in here. So please look out at all of your family, your friends, everybody here tonight, and know that there's nothing but love here for you. And have a great evening. Thank you.
Or I'm going to turn my podium here because what I have to say today is for these guys up here that have spent their careers in our school district and in K-12 education. So I'm going to turn this just so I can talk to them for a second. Thanks, Mr. Mack.
This was not planned.
But when I got this job and I found myself here in July sitting in my office asking myself what do I do as a principal, Brett came in and he said, "You can do whatever you want. You're the principal." So I'm kind of taking advantage of that here. If I'm turn and talk, I'm going to turn and talk. So a young man graduates from high school, goes off to college. He earns his college degree in 4 short years. Good job. After being hired by a supermarket, he reported for his first day of work. The manager greeted him with a warm handshake and a smile, gave him a broom, and said, "Your first job, young man, will be to sweep out the store." The prideful college graduate says, "Oh, sir, you must have me mistaken for someone else. I'm a college graduate." "Oh, I'm sorry," said the store manager. "I didn't know that. Here, give me that broom so I can show you how to do it." Always remember to be humble, graduates. Always remember to be humble. So glad to have everybody here today. Class 2022 graduation. Parents, grandparents, family, friends, our faculty, Superintendent Dr. David Smith Jr., our Newport School Board of Directors, Brett Mackey, our Assistant Principal, Athletic Director, and my right-hand man who gets all too little credit. But most of all, the young people we are gathered here today to celebrate, our graduates, the class of 2022. How about one more round of applause for them? Well, seniors, you have reached another milestone in your life, and no matter how you got here, many of you took different paths, you're here. I will never forget this class, and NHS will miss your unique talents next year. These guys were sophomores when I came to Newport High School as a principal. James Rushing and Ryan Sorter, who will bring administration pocket cheeseburgers back from lunch next year? And I'm also wondering who will be next year's almost on time to school crew. And Carly Campbell, Sarah Donis, and Blair Lowe, have you passed down the torch to any of our underclassmen? And did you remind them that school starts at 8:03, not 8 o'clock? And I'm not sure anyone will be able to light up a room with their smile and bellowing hellos as much as Henry Poisel. But what I'm really proud of this class for is now I get emails in the body of the message of an email. When they were sophomores and sent me emails, their whole email would be in the subject line. A long, long time ago, many of us sat where you are waiting to receive our high school diplomas. You too will be receiving your diploma today, and at the end of that line will be your parents ready to hand you the help wanted section of the newspaper. On a more serious note, I know all of you have heard the question, what are your plans after high school, right? I always felt so inadequate not having a dynamic plan that would wow the adults around me in my life. But I had to ask, shouldn't I have a chance to be adventurous? Why do I have to have my life planned out at the age of 18? Today, I don't want to give you too much advice because I'm sure you've gotten a lot of that this year. And adults are great at sharing our wisdom with you, but I think it's because we've fallen so many times that we can give some advice. First set of advice, take your time in life. First of all, take your time, and I don't want any emails on Monday either for this one, parents, please. But if you do, you do. Take your time by living off your parents as long as possible. You know, the workplace is inevitable for you, but put it off for a while. Perhaps you want to fulfill a bucket list before you choose a spouse, inherit car payments, children, pets, and a mortgage. So live a little, investigate your passions. Plus, I think your parents will love supporting you just a little while longer. Seriously, you guys, you don't have to be 100% ready to begin. You just have to be 100% ready to take the first step. Plans are great, and you should have one, but I have learned to love the saying, no plan goes according to plan. Next piece of advice, take some risks. I'm throwing this in there, I just love hearing about all your plans after graduation. Some of you are traveling, some of you are working for the summer just so you can travel the whole next year. I just love the adventure in this class. And if you haven't already, throughout your life, you will learn that it is customary for others to judge who you are, your choices, and your future plans. That is why the way we humans work, right? We are a little bit judgmental. You too, me too. While I want to encourage you to listen to the wisdom of your elders, after all, they have been there, done that, so to speak. They probably have the bumps, bruises, and scars to prove it. I would also tell you to chase down the dreams and desires of your heart with reckless abandon. You can always come back and start over. Don't let yourself get trapped by others' views. Some of your best moments will be when you've challenged popular advice. Have the courage to follow your heart. Without risk, nothing great would ever happen. And you would never evolve into who and what you dream of becoming. Great things happen when you take some risks. Some people who took risks, I did a little research on, some surprising, some not so much. You guys all know Hershey's chocolate. Milton Hershey bankrupted 3 companies and failed them before he actually started Hershey's. Steve Jobs, you guys know who he is, right? Apple. He got fired from Apple. Then they had to rehire him because he made another company big, so they hired him back before it got too big. J.K. Rowling had a failed marriage, found herself being an unexpected single parent, and had her Harry Potter series turned down by 3 publishers. And she's become one of the most published authors and one of the best-selling book series of our time. And then Walt Disney was told he wasn't creative enough and that his ideas for an amusement park weren't worth investing in, and I think you all know how that turned out, right? What is going to be your mark on the world? The legacy you leave behind? Your name may never be written in lights. Anybody know who Natalie Messonette is? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Well, you will after today. Not a very popular name, not a name in lights, doesn't have to be famous. Miss Messonette tried to convince big-name companies like Nike, Jimmy Choo, and Coach to try her unproven business model of selling items online back in 1999. Nike turned her down, saying that selling products online was irrational and they needed more proof of a possible profit margin. And you are all aware today of how successful Miss Messonette's online shopping model has become, aren't you? It's how we do it. Whether you become famous in the world or simply famous in your own home and communities, I hope you will use your aspirations to improve the lives of others, inspire people through your dreams, because when I watch each one of you, and you don't know this, in one way or another, you inspire me. Sometimes it's what you do daily, sometimes it's what you do weekly, and you just put me in awe. Lastly, Make another life better with the power of your impact. I have a story to illustrate this one. It was given to me by a coaching friend many years ago, and I wanted to bring it out for you today. One day, when I was a freshman in high school, I saw a kid from my class walking home from school. His name is Kyle. Looked like he was carrying all of his books. I thought to myself, why would anyone bring home all his books on a Friday? This guy must really be a nerd. I had quite a weekend planned, parties and a football game with my friends tomorrow afternoon, so I shrugged my shoulders and went on. As I was walking, I saw a bunch of kids running towards Kyle. They ran at him, knocking all his books out of his arms and tripping him, so he landed in the dirt. His glasses went flying, and I saw them land in the grass about 10 feet from him. He looked up, and I saw a terrible sadness in Kyle's eyes. My heart went out to him, so I jogged over to him as he crawled around looking for his glasses, and I saw a tear in his eye. As I handed him his glasses, I said, "Those guys are jerks, buddy. They should really get lives." He looked at me and said, "Thanks, man." There was a big smile on his face. It was one of those smiles that showed real gratitude. I helped him pick up his books and asked him where he lived. As it turned out, he lived right near me. So I asked him why I had never seen him before. He said he had gone to a private school before now. I would have never hung out with a private school kid before. At our public school, we really looked down on private school kids. We talked all the way home, though, and I carried some of his books for him. Turned out to be a pretty cool kid. I asked him if he wanted to play a little football with my friends. He said yes. We hung out all weekend, and the more I got to know Kyle, the more I liked him, and my friends thought the same of him. Over the next 4 years, Kyle and I became best friends. When we were seniors, we began to think about college. Kyle decided on going to Georgetown, and I was heading to Duke. I knew that we would always be friends, that the miles would never be a problem. He was going to be a doctor, and I was going for business on a football scholarship. He was valedictorian of our class. I teased him all the time about being a nerd. It's not a nerd to be a valedictorian, though. But even if it is, kind of cool, Annie, isn't it? He had to prepare a speech for graduation. I was so glad it wasn't me having to get up there and speak. Graduation day, I saw Kyle. Looked great, but I could see that he was nervous about his speech. So I smacked him on the back and said, "You're going to do great." He looked at me with one of those looks again that said, "Thanks, bud." As he started his speech, Kyle cleared his throat and he began. Graduation is a time to thank those who helped you make it through those tough years. So graduates, think about your tough moments. Think about who helped you, and think about how many people that was, because I bet the impact is exponential. I bet it's a lot. Might be simple, might be great, but it's a lot. Your parents, your teachers, your siblings, maybe a coach, but mostly your friends. Kyle started, "I'm going to tell you a story." And I just looked at disbelief as he told about the first day we met. He had planned to take his life over the weekend. He talked of how he had cleaned out his locker so his mom wouldn't have to do it later, and that's why he was carrying his stuff home. He looked hard at me and gave me a little smile. Thankfully, I was saved by an unexpected friend. I heard the gasp go through the crowd as this handsome, popular boy told us all about his weakest moment. Not until that moment did I realize the depth of my response that day to Kyle. I could have just left him on the ground with his books and walked home. Senior class, with one small gesture, you can change a person's life. It doesn't have to be in the spotlight. Your impact can be felt in a handshake, a smile, a pat on the back, a fist bump, or a simple hello. Graduates, be humble and hardworking. Be all in when chasing after your dreams, and never forget the exponential impact of your actions. The school and community will greatly miss you. We are so very proud of you, and we are all cheering you on in a great start to the next chapter of your lives. Thank you. Well, I don't know what to do now.
Well, you're not supposed to start crying because I'm volunteering.
Thank you, guys. Love you. Love you. So I could do what I want.
It's usually not good when you have a principal and an assistant principal that are ball babies when it comes to emotional and our kids. Now I got to gather myself here. All right, so next we will hear from Mrs. Jessie Blackburn, our guest speaker chosen by the class of 2022. And shortly after Mrs. Blackburn, we will hear from valedictorian and salutatorian Annie Wong and Callista Horton. As soon as they are done, the senior class will then present their roses to someone that has provided them inspiration on the journey through high school. And then finally, concluding with a presentation of diplomas by Mrs. Soraya Pierce and again Mr. Poncho, followed by the presentation of the class of 2022 and the turning of the tassels by Senior Class President Evelyn Juergens. At this time, please welcome Miss Jessie Blackburn.
No, it's fine right there. Just leave it. No, I'm kidding. It's right in front of me. It was a joke. I think that's good. Thank you. Yeah. I've been trying to trick Jamie all week into putting the podium directly in front of me so you couldn't see me, and I almost got away with it just now. Hello, I am Mrs. Blackburn. I'm going to put on my brakes so I don't roll away. I teach English, drama, and drawing, and I have had the pleasure of having most of these guys in class before. I'm going to try to turn a little bit mostly toward them and then back and forth towards you because I have a story to tell you, but I also want to talk to them. So we'll work with it. It's fine. There's been a tradition with my freshman English classes for several years, and Rhonda Burnham made sure that I continued doing this. I have no idea when it started, but I think it's great. And every year, at the end of the school year, right around the last day of school, I asked the freshmen to do the unthinkable. I asked them to sit down. And when I asked them to sit down, I gave them a blank piece of paper and a pen, and I asked them to write a one-page letter. And in that letter, they were to address their future selves, the selves that are sitting here with us right now. The biggest question that they asked me when I gave them this task was, you're not gonna read these or anything, are you? And even though I promised that I would not read them, Austin Dean taped every edge of his letter shut because I cannot be trusted. And while each of these letters is incredibly unique to the writer, there are some common themes, and they are girlfriends and boyfriends, lists of favorite people and things, Chevy versus Ford. Don't disappoint me, future self. Hopefully we haven't done anything stupid yet, future self. You can do this, future self. Please make sure that we are not single forever, future self. Now, I know that I haven't had the privilege of teaching every single one of you in my English classes, but I have gotten to know you through different avenues. And so even if you don't have your own letter, I want you to do something for me right now. I would like you to imagine that sitting somewhere next to you, between you and your seat partner, is little you. And I'm talking 5 or 6-year-old little you hanging out in class wondering when it's going to be your turn to be sitting up here in your caps and gowns, ready to take on the future. Because that's what this is about today, little you. Now, I know over the past many weeks, you have heard this probably 40 or 50 times, but you're about to make some big changes in your lives, whether or not you are traveling to a different country or staying right here in your hometown. Some of you have joined the military. Others of you are going to college to be teachers, psychologists, or to trade school to become tradesmen and women. And when I say that you're making big changes, I'm not just talking about career paths like college, trade school, or the military. I'm talking about the time you take from tomorrow forward to get to know who you are as a separate entity from your families and your friends. And as you take that time to get to know yourself, I want you to think about little you every so often. I promised myself I would not grace you with any inspirational quotes this evening, but there is one that I see floating around every so often, and it happens to be something that my English teacher told me when I told him I wanted to become a teacher. He said to me, "Be the person that you needed when you were younger." And when he first told me this, I assumed that he was speaking directly about teaching, and that maybe I would undergo some sort of transformative process where I would become a better teacher. But as the years have gone on, I've realized that being who I needed when I was younger is a practice that I need to do, not just for you, but for myself as well. Because sometimes as we get older, we forget to heal that little version of ourselves who needed an encouraging word or a hug, or maybe even just a little bit more patience from the adults in our lives. And when that happens, we can start to feel like something is missing, but we can't quite put our finger on what that might be. And maybe we look for it in other people, in unhealthy habits or distractions that aren't the answer. And rather than spend any time feeling lost, I would love for you to be able to be your own safe place to land. And you can do that by nurturing that little you who still needs encouragement and patience and maybe even the occasional hug. I often take the time to check in with little me. She's very anxious. She needs a lot of reassurance, and right now she's throwing an internal tantrum because she's terrified of public speaking. But it's fine, we're doing fine. There have been times, though, when she wasn't proud of me, and there have been times when she didn't even recognize me. You're going to have one of those moments, if not several, over the course of your lives, and that's okay. That's just a tap on the shoulder to remind you to come back to a place of balance where you can make every version of yourself proud. Because that's what matters above all else, that you make you proud. So when you're feeling lost or stuck, I want you to take a moment, ask yourself, what would little me think of me right now? And chances are, all you need from yourself are the same things you needed when you were younger. Encouragement, patience, maybe even a hug. So today, you've reached a very concrete bridge between childhood and adulthood. And I want you to make it to the other side without lost time spent chasing what you needed when you were younger. I want you to revel in every exciting little moment over the next few months and several years. I want you to take chances, and I want you to have fun. And when you come up here today to get your diploma, I want you to think about all of your amazing support systems who came here to cheer you on today, and know that standing right here with all the rest of us is little you, absolutely beaming. Thanks, you guys. I love you.
Good evening, parents, friends, faculty members, community members, and the class of 2022. It is an honor to speak in front of everyone tonight. As we began thinking about what we should say to all of you, we pondered for the past 5 days, until finally nothing really came. In the end, we decided to make this speech short and sweet. So, congratulations to the class of 2022. We finally graduated.
To begin with, we would like to thank all the staff members, administrators, friends of the community, and most of all, our parents for coming along on our journey. We would like to commemorate all the hard work and dedication that the staff have shown towards our class. To our friends and family, thank you for supporting us every step of the way and encouraging us to strive to go beyond our limits. As Gusteau from Ratatouille once said, you must not let anyone define your limits because of where you come from. Your only limit is your soul. Growing up in a small town may seem like a setback to many people, but it has allowed us the freedom to make our own choices and have the room to better ourselves.
Many of our graduating class have been together since the beginning, from the peaceful naps in elementary schools, to middle school days of sweaty teenage hormones, to exploring who we are in high school. Many of us grew up together in similar ways, but have all become unique in our own personal paths. Some of us may go on to study at a four-year university. Others may go straight to working, or some may take a break from school to travel. But no matter the path that we are following, we will always be connected through our time at Newport.
As cliche as it sounds, we will always be supporting each other through the memories. Even if we get married, achieve our future goals, or leave behind our past community, we will always remember the memories that we had here in this small town. Rather than thinking of what we can be in the future, we need to think about who we want to become in order to succeed. Don't let other people's choices define you. Choose your own unique path. We are at a point in our lives where our future is uncertain, yet full of potential. Our paths can change and grow, and our class is one that is unafraid to fail, as these moments will push us forward. Graduates, we have all worked hard to be here today.
Class of 2022, try to get through life without regrets, and know you will not always succeed. Trust in your decisions and go above and beyond the unexpected. As Timothy the Mouse from Dumbo once said, don't just fly, soar. Use your experiences and skills from Newport High School to create something amazing in this world. So for now, farewell to the one and only Newport class of 2022, and we wish you all the best of luck in your future. Thank you.
All right. It's time. Back row, you ready? Forrest, are you ready? Okay. We practiced that like 25 times. We still didn't get it right. Forrest is ready to rock and roll. Go ahead, guys. Head on down. I thought about sitting here talking for a while, but it is warm. So I guess we probably should get this rolling. James Kelsey Rushing. Blair Russell Lowe. Ethan James Kramer. Also receiving an AA degree from the Spokane Community College. Wyatt Jack Michael Jones. He is also receiving his AA degree from Spokane Community College. Tanner John Beatty. Benjamin Taylor Sears. Matthew Allen Kirkwood. Caden Quinn Hickson. Caden Talon Rayon. He is also receiving his AA degree from Spokane Community College. Braden James Hamburg. Faris Amir Rafi. Matthew Justin Will. Jordan Daniel Pearson. Ryan Lee Sorter. Ethan Ray Blaze. Rose Lemus. Dylan Ray Schoner. He is also receiving his AA degree from Spokane Community College. Aaron Patrick Eggleston. Burke Matthias Reese Wright. Austin Joseph Dean. Rachel Spring Flores. Callie Jane Mon. She is also receiving her AA degree from Spokane Community College. Kane Crawford. Peyton Danielle Guest. Caden James Christie. McKaylee Marie Steiner. Jeremy Jacob Ward. Sarah Elizabeth Donis. Lillian Dawn Hughes. Russell Perry Balo. Nick James Butler. Henry Robert Ford Poisel. Nathan Robert Lyon. He is also receiving his AA degree from Spokane Community College. Also receiving her AA degree from Spokane Community College, Anna Christine Wyrobic. Also receiving her AA degree from Spokane Community College, Madison Marie Bradbury. Evelyn Grace Jurgens. Lucas Dane Ramsdale. Cody Allen Butcher. Dylan Aaron Noakes. He is also receiving his AA degree from Spokane Community College. Jaden Rose Brady. Jaden Dwight Dobson. Yep, go right there. There you go. Hunter Matthew Campbell. Ryan Matthew Schmidt. He is also receiving his AA degree from Spokane Community College. Caitlin Leanne McAdoo. Abigail Marie Ward. Savannah Leanne West. Allison May Kursak. Lily Ann Newman. Grace Elaine Anderson. It's really hard to see over this 6'6" guy standing in front of me. It's okay. We got it figured out. Carly June Campbell. McKaylee Ashlyn Smith. Brian Edward Waddington. Casey Noel Keck. She is also receiving her AA degree from Spokane Community College. Zane Eugene Lumpkin II. Yana Michelle Mikolenko. She is also receiving her AA degree from Spokane Community College. Seth Royce Kirkhart Woodard. Christiana Andrea Highsmith. Flynn Claudia Alicia Byer. Frankie Lee Chambers. Nicole Lynn Morgan. Zoe Michaela Albright. Jenna Renee Starnes Conley. Callista Elizabeth Horton. You're so awesome. I can't wait to see what you do. Annie Xiaoping Wong.
At this time, I'd like to invite Miss Evelyn Juergens, Senior Class President, forward for the presentation of the class of 2022 and turning of the tassels. Ladies and gentlemen, Board of Directors and Dr. Smith, as principal of Newport High School, I certify that these individuals have met the requirements of the state of Washington and Newport School District to receive their high school diplomas. I proudly present to you the class of 2022. Morgan and Nolan.
Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision, always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living, didn't know how, but I always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes. Mama said, fulfill the prophecy, be something great. Go make a legacy, manifest destiny. Back in the days we wanted everything, wanted everything. Mama said, burn your biographies, rewrite your history, light up your wildest dreams, museum victories. Every day we wanted everything, wanted everything. Mama said, don't give up, it's a little complicated. All tied up, no more love, and I'd hate to see you waiting. Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision, always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living, didn't know how, but I always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes. Mama said, something for oddities, stranger crusades. Ain't ever wannabes, waiting the novelties that don't ever change. We wanted everything, wanted everything. Stay up on that rise, stay up on that rise, never come down. Oh, stay up on that rise, stay up on that rise, never come down. Mama said, don't give up, it's a little complicated. All tied up, no more love, and I'd hate to see you waiting. They say it's all been done, but they haven't seen the best of me. So I got one more run, and it's gonna be a sight to see. Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision, always had high